Welcome back to Golden Blue Dude, everybody, and if you like college football and college basketball, then you might as well hit the like and subscribe button because that is what we do here. Videos every single day. We've already hit 5,000 subscribers, but we have a big time goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I know we can do it, but we can't do it without you. And don't forget to go check out my Patreon page. We have a wider selection of packages, so you can get the small package of $2 a month or the total package of $50 a month. And a quick reminder to send in your I am Golden Blue Dude or We are Golden Blue Dude to my email address at refssuk@gmail.com. I'll leave my email address in the description of this video. Well, the transfer portal is still in full swing, and we know where a lot of people are going, but there's still some big names out there that haven't announced where they're going to be going. And the two biggest names are J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton. And it's been rumored that they're going as a package deal. We already know that Ole Miss went after J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton as a package deal. That kind of fell through, but Lane Kiffin landed a lot of great transfers, including Jackson Dart, the 5-star quarterback from USC. So where could J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton land? Will they land together or will they land separately? Well, we already know USC, they lost both of their quarterbacks. Keaton Slovis, he transferred to Pitt. And then, of course, Jackson Dart transferred to Ole Miss. But don't forget about Oklahoma. They lost Spencer Rattler. He transferred to South Carolina. And Caleb Williams, he's transferring as well. Now, it was reported that Caleb Williams had his choices down to two schools. And that was Wisconsin or USC. Well, yesterday, FanSided announced that he told Wisconsin they were off the board. So it seems like Caleb Williams is either staying at Oklahoma or transferring to USC. So that brings us back to J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton. I think J.T. Daniels' two biggest choices will be USC or Oklahoma. And I guess it depends on if Caleb Williams stays at home or transfers to USC. So far in his career, J.T. Daniels went 389 for 610. That's 63.8%, threw for 4,840 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 16 interceptions. Now, for Caleb Williams, he just has 1 year under his belt. He was 136 for 211, 64.5%, threw for 1,912 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. But he's a dual threat quarterback. 79 carries for 442 yards. That's 5.6 yards a carry and 6 touchdowns. So these two teams may have a choice of either Caleb Williams or J.T. Daniels. Which one do you go with? And is Jermaine Burton really a package deal with J.T. Daniels? If that's the case, then you might want to go with J.T. Daniels, even though Caleb Williams has a longer shelf life. Number one, he's only used up 1 year of his college eligibility. And number two, J.T. Daniels has been injury prone. But you throw Jermaine Burton into the mix, that's a completely different story. You might be a national championship contender immediately if you get J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton together. And I know there's other options out there for J.T. Daniels, but Ole Miss is off the board. But he could also go to Wisconsin as well, maybe UCLA. So it's not necessarily down to USC or Oklahoma for J.T. Daniels, and he just gets whoever Caleb Williams doesn't want, or vice versa. But it seems like those are the two most likely destinations for both Caleb Williams and J.T. Daniels. So if you're USC or Oklahoma, it could quite simply be down to, are you going to get Caleb Williams or are you going to get J.T. Daniels? And if you get J.T. Daniels, are you also getting Jermaine Burton? So I want to hear from my Oklahoma subscribers. Do you want Caleb Williams to stay at Oklahoma, or do you want to grab J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton as a package? Same thing to my USC subscribers. Would you rather get Caleb Williams from Oklahoma, or would you rather get J.T. Daniels and Jermaine Burton from Georgia? Either way, it's a pretty big get. And don't forget about UCLA and Wisconsin. Well, Wisconsin's off the board for Caleb Williams. And then there's the wild card, UCLA. And UCLA and USC are pretty close. So if USC were to get one quarterback and UCLA were to get the other quarterback, that'd be a nice extra layer added to that rivalry. That would be actually pretty cool. So if I had my pick, I would say J.T. Daniels go to USC or UCLA, and then Caleb Williams go to the other school. That's just my preference, but I don't have a dog in this fight. And if you think about it, USC is the linchpin to this entire situation. Why? Because where did J.T. Daniels transfer from to Georgia? USC. Lincoln Riley, the coach that recruited Caleb Williams, where did he go? USC. He's now the head coach of USC. So USC might get the pick they want, and Oklahoma is just left with whatever USC doesn't want. So in reality, Oklahoma could end up with a disgruntled quarterback because they weren't chosen by USC. Now, I'm not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but that could be the exact situation that we're looking at between USC and Oklahoma. Now, I think both of these teams are going to end up with a great quarterback, but Oklahoma might end up with a quarterback that doesn't want to be there because they weren't chosen by USC. So that's another thing that Oklahoma fans need to keep in the back of their head. The crazy thing is Kirby Smart picked Stetson Bennett over J.T. Daniels, but it worked. Why did it work? Well, it's because he had one of the best defenses of all time. So this is the second time in recent years that Georgia has picked the wrong quarterback. Jake Fromm over Justin Fields, and now Stetson Bennett over J.T. Daniels. But the second go around, it actually worked. But Georgia is losing a lot from that vaunted defense. And yes, I know they recruit at a high level. But man, it definitely helps to have a quarterback that's experienced and that's an explosive player playing at the top of his game. So basically what Georgia wants Stetson Bennett to do is not make too many mistakes. They know he's not going to win a game for him, but he's good enough to not lose a game. So they need another great defense. My question to Georgia fans, how many years does this national championship for Georgia buy Kirby Smart? Is he a coach for life? Even if Georgia starts floundering in the water, starts sinking a little bit, how long does he have at Georgia because of this national championship? If Georgia is in for a few rough years, how many rough years are Georgia fans willing to overlook because of a national championship, the first one in over 40 years? Because the thing with Kirby Smart is talent has saved his decisions. He's made some terrible decisions at Georgia, but the talent that Georgia amasses has kind of covered up his bad decision making. That could eventually end up coming back and biting him in the rear end. So we know that Spencer Rattler is going to be playing for South Carolina. We know that Jackson Dart is going to be playing for Ole Miss. We know that Keaton Slovis is going to be playing for Pitt. Apparently, it looks like Caleb Williams is either staying at Oklahoma or transferring to USC. So what if the starting quarterback situation looked like this for 2022? Keaton Slovis starting for Pitt, Jackson Dart starting for Ole Miss, Spencer Rattler starting for South Carolina. We'll say Caleb Williams starts for USC, and then J.T. Daniels starts for Oklahoma. I think that's a pretty good educated guess based on what we have right now. So y'all let me know in the comments section. Number one, where do you think Caleb Williams is going to end up? Is he going to stay at Oklahoma or is he going to transfer to USC? Remember, his choices were down to Wisconsin or USC. Wisconsin off the board, so I would say Oklahoma or USC. And also, where do you think J.T. Daniels is going to end up? Is he going to end up at USC, Oklahoma, UCLA, Wisconsin, or another school? And on top of that, is it actually going to be a package deal? J.T. Daniels with Jermaine Burton. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section of this video. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.